They pray, they fast, they seek the divine. But behind closed doors, many of the most spiritually gifted fight a war no one sees. It's not with demons or enemies, but with their own desires. The truth is raw and often unspoken. Lust doesn't leave the chosen untouched. It hunts them harder. So if you've ever felt a deep spiritual calling and yet battled overwhelming urges in silence, you're not alone. In fact, it's more common than you think. This struggle isn't a sign of weakness. It's often the mark of spiritual power under fire. Let's uncover 3 powerful reasons why the ones called to walk closest with God are the ones who often face the darkest battles with lust. Reason 1. High spiritual sensitivity attracts greater temptation. For many chosen ones, lust becomes the hidden battlefield, a place where tears are shed, prayers are whispered through clenched teeth, and guilt often replaces peace. You might find yourself asking, why me? Why does this temptation come so strong, especially when I'm trying to live right? Why do I feel like I'm being pulled in 2 directions, spirit and flesh, every single day? Here's the truth no one tells you. The enemy doesn't waste time on the ordinary. He targets the anointed. Because if he can shake your purity, he can cloud your clarity. If he can tempt your body, he can distract your soul. And if he can confuse your identity, he can delay your purpose. Those who are spiritually chosen often carry a deep sensitivity to things others overlook. They feel more, see more, sense more. Their spirits are tuned to higher frequencies, receiving dreams, visions, revelations. But what many don't realize is that this same sensitivity opens them up not only to the divine, but also to intense spiritual warfare. Think of it like this. A bright light doesn't just attract those seeking warmth, it also draws the insects. In the same way, the spiritual light within you calls attention from both heaven and hell. Lust becomes one of the enemy's sharpest weapons, precisely because it attacks the deepest layers of human vulnerability, desire, intimacy, identity. And it doesn't always come in obvious ways. Sometimes it's in the sudden, unexplainable craving for attention. Other times it's the pull to revisit old habits, late-night scrolling, or emotional fantasies masked as harmless thoughts. These aren't just random urges. They're calculated distractions designed to pull you out of alignment. Spiritual warfare targets your weakest spots with precision. Lust isn't just about physical pleasure. It's a spiritual short circuit that clouds discernment, drains energy, and creates inner turmoil that makes it harder to hear from God. If you've ever wondered why your temptations seem heavier than others, it's not because you're dirtier. It's often because you're more dangerous to the darkness. So no, you're not crazy. You're not weak. You're under pressure because you're carrying something powerful. And understanding this is the first step in taking your authority back. Reason 2, isolation and suppressed desires. Many spiritual chosen ones walk a lonely road, not because they want to, but because their path is different. Friends fall away, conversations feel shallow, crowds feel noisy. Over time, they learn to live in silence, but that silence often hides something deeper, unmet needs. You see it when you're chosen, you're usually set apart. But being set apart can feel a lot like being left out. The pressure to stay holy or be the example can become a silent burden. You see it when you're chosen, you're usually set apart. But being set apart can feel a lot like being left out. The pressure to stay holy or be the example can become a silent burden. So you start hiding your human side, the parts of you that still long to be touched, held, understood. And here's where lust slips in, not as a scream, but as a comfort. When you've gone months or even years without real intimacy, without someone seeing you behind the spiritual mask, desire doesn't disappear, it just goes underground. And what's hidden doesn't heal. So instead of being expressed in healthy ways, through connection, vulnerability, or conversation, those desires come out sideways, in fantasy, in temptation, in quiet moments when no one's watching. And the guilt that follows? Heavy. Because you know better, right? You're anointed, called, set apart, but knowing better doesn't cancel being human. Your spirit may be called to higher things, but your soul still longs for love, and your body still craves connection. It's this very tension between what you know and what you feel that creates the inner storm. You're not just fighting lust, you're fighting loneliness. You're fighting silence. And in that silence, lust becomes a counterfeit companion, a quick fix for a deep need. Now, what you need to understand in this situation is, suppressed desires don't make you holy, they make you hidden. And what stays hidden can control you. Facing your desires honestly, bringing them into the light, and learning to meet them in healthy ways, that's where real freedom begins. Reason 3. Lust is a strategic attack on your destiny. My friends, you need to understand that lust isn't random. It's a setup, a carefully crafted, well-timed attack on your identity, your purpose, and your future. If you're spiritually chosen, your life carries weight. Your words shift atmospheres. Your presence brings healing. Your obedience unlocks things for others. So naturally, if the enemy can't destroy you from the outside, he'll try to distract you from the inside. And what better way to do that than lust? Lust doesn't just tempt you, it consumes you. It fills your mind, drains your energy, and keeps you stuck in cycles of guilt and shame. When you're caught in that loop, it's hard to pray, hard to focus, hard to feel close to God. That's not an accident. That's the plan. The goal isn't just to make you fall, it's to make you forget who you are. Think about it. How many leaders, healers, and prophets have lost their voice, their influence, their peace, all because of one private battle they didn't think would matter? Lust isn't about sex, it's about silencing you. Because if you give in long enough, you'll start to feel unworthy. You'll stop speaking with boldness, you'll doubt your calling, and slowly, your purpose becomes a shadow instead of a flame. But here's the truth. Your destiny is still alive. Even if you've slipped, even if you've fallen, the call on your life hasn't changed. This battle doesn't disqualify you. It reveals you. It shows what's at stake. It shows what you're carrying. And if hell is coming after you this hard, it's only because heaven has placed something powerful inside you. Struggling doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're fighting. And people who fight are people who still care. People who still want to be free. People who still believe there's more. You're not dirty. You're not too far gone. You're not broken beyond repair. You're in a war because you're worth the fight. So don't hide your struggle. Don't carry your shame in silence. Talk to God. Talk to someone safe. Get the help you need. But whatever you do, don't quit. Because on the other side of this battle is clarity, strength, authority, and freedom you never thought you could walk in. And when you rise, and you will, you'll have more than just victory. You'll have a testimony that sets others free too.